Dave, we pivot again.
We
We
do
pivot for
indeed.
a regular segment on this show, do we not?
We do.
Our friends from NACFE.org are on the scene, and man, they have been full of amazing content and a really great kind of, I think, overview of everything going on out there with that messy middle, where there's a whole lot of different approaches and a whole lot of different ways of fueling up. And there is no one size that fits all, but basically they're looking at the quality and the conditions of different approaches. Would you care to do the honors?
Yeah, I think the messy middle is one of the best titles for any program because that's exactly where we are. But I think the folks at NACFE are going to get us out of that mess. And Rick Mihelic is one of the guys that's on the lead here. He's the lead on battery electric vehicles, hydrogen, for the Run on Less program at NACFE, the North American Council for Freight Efficiency. And Rick is the Director of Emerging Technologies. Rick, I don't know why I keep introducing you because you are a regular here on the program, so folks out there know you by now. Good morning again.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me back on.
You know, I got to say that when you say large and small fleets, you've been working with fleets of all sizes and shapes running on less with several energy sources, and we've kind of gone through the catalog of energy sources and we'll continue to do that. But if there's one guy out there who really stands out, and you know who I'm talking about, when it comes to fuel efficiency, it's our friend Henry Albert. How'd you meet Henry?
Yes.
And what have you guys at NACFE learned from him? Because he is a wealth of how to do this.
Well, Henry is a resource. He's been around the industry for forever, and he's been pushing the envelope on fuel economy since his first day driving, and he's just an interesting guy to talk to.
You know, I this is going to be a real overstatement, but I'm going to say it anyway. If every driver drove the way Henry has been driving, going back to 1983, we may not be having this conversation. I mean, he's achieved 13.7 miles per gallon.
It's
on
crazy,
his
Dave. You
Cascadia.
got to stop, man. You got to stop. I knew Dave would do this. He was so kind of fascinated with last week's interview about Henry that he wanted to get into this. But we're limited on time, dude. We're talking JoyRide this morning. We got to talk JoyRide. Let's dig into that, shall we? So Rick, go ahead and take it away.
Sure. We actually have two companies to talk about this morning. JoyRide Logistics is just this fabulous company that started in 2014 with one truck, and they show what you can do in America. This company now has over 250 trucks. They operate largely in the Southwest in regional haul. They try and get their drivers home every other day. They are embracing new technologies, all of the tools that you can imagine that are available today. They're looking at, and they are adopting electric vehicles, and they've partnered with Windrose Technology to try out battery electric trucks that can go over 400 miles. They're doing runs from Phoenix into LA. With one charge. It's a tremendous accomplishment to see these trucks go really long distances and this is a sleeper unit too as well. So the drivers get to stay overnight in the truck and make a return trip the next day.
And by the way, you said the drivers are in the truck, and we always end up gravitating towards those drivers. From your experience and from your firsthand look at it, how are the drivers actually reacting?
We released our new video on this just this morning. So go to runonless.com and you can listen to the driver talk about his experience with it. But they love these trucks. All the battery electric drivers that we've run into, they all universally love the trucks. They may not like it before they get in, but within a week of driving them, they love them and they don't want to go back to diesels ever.
Yeah, and by the way, Lindsay and I, a couple of last week, actually got into a conversation about the way people smell, and you immediately know what I'm talking about when I say that. We were talking about the way, when you run into people, people have very distinctive smells. I'm actually wondering if these people are going home and dogs aren't recognizing them. I'm wondering if people are getting home and people feel different around them because the olfactory reaction to some of these men and women when they get around the people they love is like, wait a minute, you smell different. It's like when I quit smoking, it never got trapped in my beard again. And so literally I had nieces that started hugging me again because my beard didn't smell like nicotine and tobacco. And so it's like the quality of life improvement must be remarkable as well too. I bet you they kind of react to that as well, right?
Yeah, the drivers we've talked to, they talk about um, the smell of diesel, the smell of fumes, and things that are on their clothes, their boots. Uh, when they drive an electric truck, there's none of that. So when they get home, their family, doesn't have to immediately throw their clothes in the wash. They they really appreciate that there's just they leave the office back at the office when they get home.
And okay, so I got to pivot here. Like I said, I told Dave he would get one question about Henry Albert, and then it drifted into a conversation. So we're going to hang out here just a couple more minutes than we would have. I was kind of curious, being with those folks, what did you see? And of course, the video is going to tell us a lot about that too. But what did you see that really kind of struck you? What stopped you in your tracks in regards to taking the ride? And I've been dying to say this. You know where I'm going here. Taking the ride with JoyRide.
Yeah, that this company is phenomenal. It was started by an immigrant from Bosnia. This is a company started by somebody who grew up in a war zone, and it's just the backstory is so refreshing that you've got somebody who's come to the U.S., made a truck company out of thin air. It's now 250 trucks strong. It's just a remarkable story of success of what you can do in the U.S. If you try, and then throw on top of that Windrose, which is another it's a startup company. They've produced a production electric truck in just a few years, and they're entering this realm of OEMs. As a newcomer, and it's just exciting to see all that energy that these two companies are bringing to the marketplace.
Like I said, it's like one of the most exciting things, I think. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to get you back on at some point once people have watched that video, once people have made their way over there. Tell people where they can find the video really quickly because we are going to run out of time here, but I wanted to make sure we cram both the companies in there. Tell people where they can go to get the profile.
Yeah, the profile's on runonless.com. That's just one word, no spaces, runonless.com.
Yeah, if you guys head on over there, what you'll find is you'll find a video in the profiles. By the way, JoyRide is featured over there. Just click on it, get all the information you need. Rick, I have to tell you, I do want you to come back at some point next week so we can talk a little bit more about this, or after, in fact, we get that run in September, because this was one of the most exciting, I think, personal and technology stories, and you guys have covered a lot of really compelling ones. Thank you for your time, brother. It is great to have you back as always.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, run on less, of course, and you guys can go to NACFE.org.